All right.
Here we go.
Hello, guys. Welcome back to Vibrations and Libations. I'm James.
And I'm Keith.
And tonight we're listening to The Grateful Dead, WorkingMan's Dead. This is my favorite Grateful Dead album so far that I've listened to. I have several. This is my favorite one so far. It's really about time that we do a Grateful Dead album, I think. And I'm a big Grateful Dead fan, so I've been wanting to do an album of theirs for a long time. So I let Keith borrow a couple, and this is the one he decided that he would like to do the video on. So here we are.
Here we are,
listening to some Grateful Dead. Yes.
He also let me borrow American Beauty.
Yes.
As well. And we are drinking tonight.
We are. What are we drinking tonight, Keith?
We're drinking Dogfish Head and the Grateful Dead present American Beauty Pale Ale.
Yes.
So, coincidentally,
I've been wanting to try this beer for a long time, and I was able to find it at where I buy most of my alcohol at. And I was like, yes, we got to get that, and we got to do a Grateful Dead album. I don't care if it's American Beauty or not. We just got to pair the two together. So.
Right. Well, wasn't American Beauty a companion album?
It was. WorkingMan's Dead was recorded in 1970, February of 1970, and it was released in June of 1970. And they recorded WorkingMan's Dead and American Beauty back to back. So we're going to have the WorkingMan's Dead album and the American Beauty beer simultaneously.
As a companion?
Yes, as a companion. So. All right, so let's pour some beer.
Pour it.
I really like...
It's good beer pouring music, by the way.
It is good beer pouring music. I like the label for the fact that it's got the dancing bears on it. I'm a big fan also of the dancing bears. I like the Steal Your Face skull here as well, but it's on a lot of Grateful Dead stuff, so I'm glad they decided to put the bears on here. Can I pour this beer without overflowing it? Let's see here.
Look at that beautiful
mug
of beer.
You should quit your job and become a bartender, Keith.
Look at that. Okay. Talk me into it.
You don't have to tell me twice.
Yeah.
All right. So, I think everybody who's listened to any type of rock and roll for any amount of time at all is aware of the Grateful Dead. Whether you're fans of them or you're not fans of them, they're an iconic American rock and roll band with, members like, of course, Jerry Garcia and Bob Weir. The two kind of front guys of the band that everybody thinks is
pretty popular.
He is pretty popular and pretty good bass player as well. So, and he's always touring around with different people,
right.
And of course, Dead and Company still going, I guess, and I'm sure they're just going to keep rocking out until there's just no more Grateful Dead. I don't know. I just hope that perhaps they'll be like Leonard Skinner and end up being the world's most popular cover band where they just replace members until there's not any original members left. So. But they still tour under the Dead. So, all right. So this album charted at number 27 on the Billboard charts, and so again come back at you. So again, the WorkingMan's Dead and American Beauty were recorded back to back. And while they were working on this, they were dealing with a lot of trouble with from debt that they had accumulated during previous albums, and they had also gotten busted, I guess, in New Orleans, and were facing some pretty serious charges on a drug bust that happened. So, I guess luckily they got out of that okay, and I think that they probably have cleared the debt since then.
Yeah.
So I doubt that there's any debt issues. So the tracks. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I wonder what kind of drugs it was.
Probably. Ibuprofen.
Ibuprofen.
That might have been before ibuprofen was legal. I'm not sure.
Probably so.
Okay, so the tracks on WorkingMan's Dead. This starts off with the song that's playing right now. One of my favorite Dead songs, Uncle John's Band, High Time, Dire Wolf. I'm also a big fan of that song as well. New Speedway Boogie. That's a nice name for a song. Cumberland Blues, Black Peter, Easy Wind, and of course everybody knows Casey Jones. Driving that train, being high on the cocaine.
Maybe it was cocaine.
Could have been. Could have been. Who knows? All right, but anyway, again, the Grateful Dead are just an iconic rock and roll band, and a lot of people I talk to, they either love the Grateful Dead or they just can't stand listening to the Grateful Dead. Maybe the ones who just can't stand listening to them have just heard them on the radio, and just kind of guilty of not giving them a chance and listening to some of their full albums. Because, you know, again, like I've said, me and Keith have both said before, a lot of times some of the bands that we listen to, some of their best songs are not the songs that are on the radio.
True.
And they do all kinds of covers and all kinds of live albums, and there's a Grateful Dead station on Sirius Radio where they just play Grateful Dead songs and Grateful Dead concerts, and I love that channel and listen to it all the time when I can. So anyway,
well, they play Casey Jones and
yeah,
they play Uncle John's band on the radio, and those are some solid tracks.
Those are some solid tracks, but if you like listening to some like good 12, 15, 20-minute jams, listen to some of their live stuff. They got some good stuff going on. So
yeah.
All right, so what about the beer, Keith? What do we know about the beer here?
The Dogfish Head American Beauty Pale Ale is brewed with granola, honey, and American hops. ABV is 6.5, and we don't know the IBUs because we couldn't find it.
The Dogfish Head website didn't have it, and Beer Advocate didn't have it, so...
And it's not on the bottle.
It's not on the bottle, so we're just going to say it does not have any bitterness.
It has a little.
It does, yeah.
It's in the beginning, it has that bite, but then it's a clean finish.
It is, yeah.
And so I assume they received several, more than 1,500 ingredient suggestions. Granola was top on the list.
Top of the list. Very surprising with, hippie bands such as the Grateful Dead and, granola, but hey.
It was the main course in millions of parking lot meals and is sweet and tasty complement to the barley, succulent wildflower, honey, and American hops.
Right. I like granola. It's not my favorite thing to eat, but I'm sure, if you're in the parking lot and you got the munchies, and granola's kind of easy to carry around, so just eat the hell out of that shit.
Right. And I think that this is a very, very pretty beer.
It is. It's got a nice amber color to it. Yeah.
I don't know if you can see that, if it's too shiny, but it looks like a picture of beer, like a picture-perfect color.
Yeah.
And the flavor, it's very good.
Well, the first thing I noticed when I took the first drink out of it was it's not strong, it's not up, right up front, but there's a little bit of sweetness from that honey you can taste.
Right. Right. I hate that when honey is so prominent in beers. It's just too overwhelming, but just a little bit of subtle sweetness to knock down that bitterness it's just perfect.
Kind of hits you on the very back of your tongue a little bit. You're like, oh, there it is.
Yeah.
There it is. I know you got honey in there, Dogfish Head. Nice job putting it in there. So, yeah, with the granola and the barley, I think it's pretty good. The website, Dogfish Head's website, said it would be good paired with Thai food.
Yeah.
I've never had Thai food.
Never had Thai food either.
But they said it would be, they paired it with Thai food. So if I ever have any more of this beer, I will go out and find some Thai food and bring it home and eat it.
Yeah.
We'll see how that goes.
We'll probably have to do some driving.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Pretty close, I think. Maybe Bowling Green or Evansville, possibly, where we live at. But anyway, okay. So, favorite song on the album. You listened to this, you said pretty extensively.
Probably 8 to 10 times. And I had to, because I'd listen to it and then I would just forget. I would forget all about it.
Yeah.
And no songs really jumped out at me and grabbed a hold of me. I'd really had to chew on this album. And Dire Wolf is one of my favorites, but not my favorite. New Speedway Boogie.
Really? That's a good song.
It's my favorite, along with Casey Jones and Uncle John's band.
Right.
But Dire Wolf is pretty interesting song, to say the least. I really like the lyrics of that song. And honorable mention is Easy Wind. It's real bluesy. I really like that.
Right.
I don't know which. It's not Garcia that sings that, but I really like that.
Yeah, I like my favorite song on the album is Uncle John's Band. I just think it's just got a good mellow kind of groove to it, and I really like it. And if you listen to WorkingMan's Dead and American Beauty, you can kind of tell that they were recorded, around the same time.
Yeah.
Very similar, and they got a little bit of a country twang to them, a little bit of folky, and
I think American Beauty is a little bit more rocking.
Yeah.
Especially the first side.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Ripple is my favorite song on American Beauty.
I couldn't tell you my favorite track. I only listened to it twice because I was listening to this one so much.
As far as albums go, though, as far as just studio albums, WorkingMan's Dead is my favorite Dead album that I've listened to. So, and I really think I've listened to all of them. I don't have them all, but I think I've listened to all their studio albums. But I really love WorkingMan's Dead. You want to talk about the beer before we rate the album some more, or you want to rate the album?
We'll rate the album.
Okay, all right.
This is my. I've never listened to a whole Grateful Dead album. I have a greatest hits album that I've listened to. I like it, and but I've never listened to a whole Grateful Dead album. It just took me a while because I'm a hard rocker, and it just would drag me down.
Yeah.
But now I'm a little more mellow.
Right.
And I really liked it. I'll give it a solid 4.
Solid 4, okay.
Solid 4 because it has so many tracks on it that I do really like.
Right. I would suggest with this album that if you've never listened to Grateful Dead, or if I was talking to somebody who's never listened to Grateful Dead, I would say, okay, go get WorkingMan's Dead. Listen to that first before you listen to anything else, because a lot of people get turned off from listening to Grateful Dead because of the psychedelic music that they do, earlier on, kind of get turned off on the long jam kind of stuff. I think this is pretty safe for somebody that's never listened to Grateful Dead to listen to, especially if you like the current day Americana type of music. It's got a lot of, like I said, it's got a lot of folk and country spots in the songs, and they're just good stories and just overall good lyrics. So I rate the album 5 out of 5. It's my favorite Grateful Dead album, like I said, so I give it a 5.
Cool.
All right, so beer.
I give this beer a 4.5.
I rated it a solid 4.5 too. It's not I won't say it's the best pale ale I've had, but I'll have to say that I'm surprised that it's as good as it is. Because I was expecting something really bitter.
All the granola or what?
Yeah, the granola is what got me. I don't eat granola unless it's in a cereal bar or something like that, Anyway, I just really thought that maybe it was going to be real bitter, and I didn't want that, and that's what I don't like in a pale ale or an IPA or something. That always just kind of turns me off. But like the last one that we had, you get that bitterness first, but then it goes away, and that's what I don't like. I don't like when it just lingers in there. I don't want to taste it after I've drank it. I just want I want to taste it when it's coming out of the glass or the bottle, and that's it. So.
I agree. A clean finish on an IPA is what it's all about. I mean, I like all that. I like that hoppiness, that flavor you get on the initial pull, the initial drink there, but man, I want it to leave. I don't want that hanging out in my mouth feeling like I'm breathing pine trees on everybody.
Or eating potpourri right out of the bag or something like that.
Right.
All right. So what else have we got to add about the Grateful Dead and the American Beauty beer we got here?
Give them a listen, give it a try.
Absolutely. This beer was just re-released. It's been out, before. But from what I read, it was the first time you can get it in 6-pack. So I think maybe before they were in the bigger bottles. So if you go to your liquor store and you're a Grateful Dead fan, or you're just a pale ale fan, give it a try. I think you'll like it. I really do. So anything else?
I think we're good.
All right. So until next time, guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not a subscriber. Give us a good thumbs up. Follow us on Instagram and on Facebook and on Twitter. And I'm looking into maybe heading to BitChute. So if any of you guys out there watching are fans of BitChute, give us some suggestions on what we need to do for BitChute. before we put any videos on that. And of course, leave us some other comments. Do you like the Grateful Dead? Do you not like the Grateful Dead? Have you tried this beer and like it or hate it? Let us know your thoughts, guys. We appreciate any kind of feedback that we can get from you. So
We like those comments.
we do. We like reading them. So anyway, this comes to the end of the video. And for Vibrations and Libations, I'm James.
And I'm Keith.
And until next time, guys, keep drinking and go back and watch some of our other videos.
We'll see you.
Bye.